Hey guys, this is Mike Tarallo with Qlik. Thanks for watching the next video in the Do More with Qlik Tips and Tricks Edition series. In the last video, I covered how to use the OpenAI Analytics connector with Qlik Cloud Analytics. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the OpenAI connector blocks with Qlik Automation. Alright, so to get started, we're utilizing our new OpenAI connector blocks, which consist of create completion, list models, raw API list request, raw API request, and retrieve model. Now this workflow basically looks at a ServiceNow incident and based off of the descriptive text, provides it with the sentiment score based off of a prompt that we ask the OpenAPI. And then based off of that score coming back, we then ask it to create a possible response that the support engineer can use to respond appropriately to the customer. And then it also updates the incident with that response in the comments and also sends a message to Microsoft Teams. So let's give you a quick example of how this works. So I'm going to go into my developer instance of ServiceNow. I'm going to create a new ticket. And we'll call this one Computer Keeps Crashing and Rebooting. And I'm just going to paste that in the description and just put in some additional information to complete the case. And now we're going to click Save. So now this incident is opened up within ServiceNow. You can see the activity. There's nothing here. The comments are blank. We have our summary, etc. Now, if you're not familiar with an automation, please refer to our other videos. Basically, this is going to now be kicked off manually, but we could kick this off through a schedule, a trigger, or a webhook as well. So like if something else happens, it could trigger this. And I'm just going to click Run. And I'm going to grab my Microsoft Teams. And what we're going to do is wait for the response to be populated within Microsoft Teams. And there it is. So we received a new incident with a low sentiment of 4, open incident in ServiceNow, incident description, computer keeps crashing and rebooting. And then here are 2 examples of responses they can use. So that information that was pulled from OpenAI is now populated in Teams and made available for, let's say, a support engineer to respond to. I'm not going to read all of this verbatim. You get the point there. But let's go back and let's also go into our ServiceNow ticket. And I'm going to refresh. And you can see now here in activity from the system administrator, here's that information from the OpenAI completion response written back to the ServiceNow system directly for the support engineer to use and respond for within the case if necessary. Okay, so I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. So you saw how that works. Now if we just go into Edit, we have our Start block. We have our ServiceNow block, which is available here. In this case, we're just looking at the last record retrieved. We then go to the Create Completion OpenAI connector block that you see available here. Our connection is to OpenAI. It just uses the API key, similar to like what I showed you in the previous videos. And the input is using the text DaVinci model, and you can see the prompt, analyze the sentiment of the following sentence and return its sentiment score on a scale from 1 unhappy to 10 happy. The reply must be a single integer. And then we're taking the incident that comes back from the ServiceNow block and populating it here with the description. So that's what's being sent as the prompt. Now, as we know, there's going to be a return. So if we just look at the history, you can see the output and you can see the prompt tokens, completion tokens. So this just gives you an idea of what's being run in the back end. And then you can see that the score that came back is a score of 2, which is less than 4. So if we look at the condition, if it's less than 4, so you can see choices, text, that was what we looked at in the history. If it's less than 4, then run the create completion block again with the prompt, write a possible reply a support engineer could write for the below support case. And that basically gets the description from that case. And then we use an update incident. And you can see the task ID and the effective number. This is basically the incident that came back from the retrieval. And then you can use other fields to update, but I created a comments field. If you look at the ServiceNow API, there's a field called comments. And here I just put that response as part of the value. And then we also have that response as part of a send message block. And that's pretty much it. So running that updates the incident in ServiceNow and also sends the message in Teams. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. What I'm interested in is learning more from you on how you would use this particular back-end workflow within your organization utilizing the OpenAI connector blocks. All right, guys, thanks for your time. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.